welcome to the Activated Storyteller's 34th podcast, March 1st, 2007.
This week's story is The Pied Piper of Hamelin by Robert Browning.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Zephyr.
And together we are
the Activated Storytellers.
Yes, here yet again to help activate your ears and activate some stories for you. This week we have decided to Seussify our podcast. We are celebrating Read Across America Week, which is officially celebrated on March 2nd, which is Dr. Seuss's birthday.
Yes, Dr. Seuss was born March 2nd, 1904 in Springfield, Massachusetts.
We are podcasting from Georgia this time around, but we're going to talk about Springfield, Massachusetts in honor of Dr. Seuss.
Yes, in Springfield, Massachusetts, near the library where we performed a few years ago, they have a memorial sculpture garden featuring some excellent sculptures of Dr. Seuss characters and one of Dr. Seuss himself working at his desk.
Yeah, a lot of fun to walk through there. It was rather rainy when we were there. We did not get to take too many pictures, but it was fun to walk around and to almost like being in the mind of Dr. Seuss and visiting his characters.
When you say rather rainy, you mean we got drenched to the bone. It was a downpour, and it seemed rather appropriate. It reminded me of the story about Oobleck.
Now, you know where else they have a place where they pay tribute to Dr. Seuss?
Where is that?
Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios. They actually have an entire area called Seuss Landing, where they have a bunch of attractions based off of Dr. Seuss's books. They have the Cat in the Hat ride you can go on. And something that I stopped by and did was there's a little area with truffle trees, and they've got the Wansler's Shack from the Lorax, and he's got his whispermophone, and you can actually put your ear up to the whispermophone and listen.
Okay, now you're 16. Are you still into listening to Dr. Seuss?
Well, it's Dr. Seuss. I mean, yeah, Dr. Seuss, Shakespeare.
They're all great, huh? Yes. No, the ride that you're talking about, the Cat in the Hat ride, okay, I didn't go there. I have no idea. Is it like a teacup ride like they have at Disneyland, Disney World?
No, they have some other rides like that, but I don't believe that particular ride is.
Okay, now Dr. Seuss has been one of Zephyr's favorites since way back when. Loves all of the books by Dr. Seuss, and in fact, used to do the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Before the movie came out with Jim Carrey, he would do the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the book, from memory. And he was about 2, I think, at the time. And there was one time we decided that we would videotape him doing it and act it all out. And so we spent an afternoon, borrowed a sled from a school that we were performing at, and because it was snowing, and ended up taping the whole video with Zephyr as the Grinch, and I played Max, the dog, and I was also camera.
Yes, that was in Wisconsin. I believe it was near Madison.
So lots of Dr. Seuss memories there. We love Green Eggs and Ham and McEllington's Pool. Oh, got a trivia question for you that we will answer at the end of our story. The question is, what is Dr. Seuss's real name? We'll leave you with that and let you figure it out, and we'll tell you the answer at the end of the story. The story this week is in the spirit of Dr. Seuss. He did not write it. In fact, it is much older than the stories that he wrote, but it is written by Robert Browning, and it is The Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Hamlin Town in Brunswick by famous Hanover City. To see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity.
Rats.
They fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheese out of the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles.
At last, the people in a body to the town hall came flocking.
Rouse up, sirs. Give your brains a racking to find the remedy we're lacking.
An hour they sat in council. At the chamber door came but a gentle tap.
"Bless us!" cried the mayor. "Who's that? Come in!" the mayor cried, looking bigger.
And in did come the strangest figure. His queer long coat from heel to head was half of yellow and half of red. And he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin. He advanced to the council table, and,
"Please, your honors,"
said he,
I'm able, by means of a secret charm, to draw all creatures living beneath the sun, that creep or swim or fly or run after me as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm. The mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I can rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?
50,000!
Was the exclamation of the astonished mayor and corporation. Into the streets the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while.
And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered. And the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling. And out of the houses the rats came tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished.
You should have heard the Hamlin people ringing the bells till they rocked the steeple.
Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes. Consult with carpenters and builders.
First, if you please, my 1,000 guilders.
1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue. So did the corporation, too.
We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you very well know, was in joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders? Come, take 50.
The piper's face fell, and he cried,
No trifling. I can't wait, beside. Folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion.
You threaten us, fellow? Do your worst. Blow your pipe there till you burst.
Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth, straight cane. There was a rustling, that seemed like a bustling, of merry crowds justling at pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering. And like fowls in a farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children running, all the little boys and girls with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls. Tripping and skipping ran merrily after the wonderful music with shouting and laughter.
The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they were changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry to the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with the eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back.
And piper and dancers were gone forever. They made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly if, after the day of the month and year, these words did not as well appear.
And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376.
And the better in memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper's Street.
And there you have the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Rather like Dr. Seuss, isn't it?
Yes. Now, this story is actually a very old folk tale. It goes back to at least the year 1300, and it may be based on actual events. In fact, the character of the Pied Piper actually may have been a real person because he is depicted in a stained glass window dating from about 1300. Now, we mentioned the Memorial Sculpture Garden in Springfield, Massachusetts. The website for that is catinthehat.org. That's been open since 2002. We were actually invited to perform at the grand opening of that, but we were unable to.
Also, like I said, it is Read Across America Week. And so if you'd like to find out more about that, you got to visit NEA.org. And what was the answer to the question? What is Dr. Seuss's real name?
His real name was Theodore Seuss Geisel. Seuss was his actual middle name and his mother's maiden name, so that's what he used. He also wrote some books under the name Theo Lessig, and Lessig is an anagram of Geisel. Not only is it an anagram of Geisel, it's actually Geisel spelled backwards.
I think I can understand why he chose to use Dr. Seuss instead of Dr. Geisel.
You think so? Why?
Well, Dr. Geisel's just not as catchy.
And in celebration of Read Across America Week and Dr. Seuss's birthday, we decided to include a song for you this week. A song from one of our MySpace friends, Mr. Billy. You can find Mr. Billy at mrbilly.com. And Mr. Billy is from Wisconsin. The song we're going to be playing for you this week is Seuss on the Loose.
And before we get to that, we want to extend our best wishes to folks in Dumas, Arkansas, where we performed a few years ago. And this town was really devastated by a tornado during the past week. So we hope everyone is recovering well.
All right, guys, hit those books. Go find it on Mulberry Street. Green Eggs and Ham, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Yertle the Turtle, and some of our other favorite Sneetches, the Zacks, the Lorax, Fox and Socks. Enjoy. Catch you next week.
Seuss on the Loose. Seuss on the loose, woo! 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 On the loose, woo! Seuss on the loose, woo! Books about feet, speeches and moose. Put 'em on top with Old Mother Goose. Seuss on the loose, woo! Seuss on the loose, woo! Books about feet, speeches and moose. Put 'em on top with Old Mother Goose. Seuss on the loose, woo! Seuss on the loose, woo! Seuss on the loose, woo! Seuss on the loose.
Activated storytellers perform at schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use American Sign Language, physical comedy, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring the stories to life. For booking information, check our website at www.activated-storytellers.com, where you can also find out when the Activated Storytellers will be performing near you. Read a story, or order one of our audio CDs. Until next time.